This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to Digital Perspectives, everybody. I'm Brad Kimes. You can follow me on Twitter at @BackupBradleyAbove on the screen and everything that we're talking about here. First one goes out to Michael Val, 5 links. Thank you, my friend. Compliments to Mbagi, which is Standard Chartered Bank, has joined forces with telco giant Airtel Africa to drive financial inclusion across the continent through mobile services. I have to say, when I see things like this, I think that, I just imagine a wildfire, a brush fire on a windy day. When you're talking about using adoption and financial inclusion through mobile services, it's very exciting. I think this is something that can move very quickly across the continent of Africa. So shout out to all the progress that's happening over there and across the world. Today, we're going to cover specifically the digital dollar, some advancements that are happening there, the positive stuff that's going on with that, and Brad Garlinghouse has fired back at a New York Times reporter, and we're going to discuss that as well and a couple other things. So before we do any further, let's go ahead and do the numbers really quickly. Bitcoin, $11,740 on this day, and Ethereum, $426.70. XRP sitting at 30 cents even right now. We are up 8.3% today. That is pretty exciting stuff right there. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next piece of news here. Another one from Michael Val, 5 links. Ripple CEO fires back at New York Times reporter, has no plans to reset our strategy. Love it. Straight fire coming from Brad. Let's go ahead and check this out really quickly. Let me get this whole thing opened. Ripple XRP CEO Brad Garlinghouse has responded to criticism from New York Times technology reporter Nathaniel Popper after news surfaced that Santander Bank is still hesitant to use the company's native token, XRP. And if I could interject here, I think it's quite obvious that any bank is going to be hesitant to use any asset, no matter how long they've had a relationship with the company, especially Ripple, knowing that none of us know what the clear classification of XRP actually is. Is it a currency? Is it a commodity? I think we all understand it's not a security, but we still need to have that clarification, especially for a bank to use it. As you know, or may well know, I expect XRP and look for it to be designated at least as a currency or some kind of a hybrid currency that would allow it to function like the currency dollars that exist in the world. And if it would get such a designation, banks already are regulated to handle currency. It could be a very quick adoption at that point. That's my 2 cents. Let's keep reading. Popper took aim at Garlinghouse, citing statements by the CEO in 2018 around bank planning to use the XRP token in the near future. He went on to say that people use their savings to invest in XRP based on forward-looking projections by Brad Garlinghouse that Brad Garlinghouse had given. If investors put their money in the XRP on the day Brad Garlinghouse talked about the banks planning to use XRP and held it today, they would have lost around 90% of their investment. In response, Garlinghouse has made it clear that he believed using XRP to solve a $10 trillion problem like cross-border payments is working. The CEO further explained that the on-demand liquidity, formerly XRapid, has accounted for more than $2 billion in transactions since launch, citing that its volume was up 11 times in the first half of 2020 when compared to the previous first half of 2019. According to Ripple Explorer Bloxy, the network has been producing around 900,000 transactions a day during 2020, with a spike of 3 million transactions on January 7, 2020. ODL currently supports over 24 customers, Garlinghouse shared, including MoneyGram, GoLance, Via Americas, FlashFX, and Azimo. Popper didn't help the case when he got Garlinghouse's Twitter handle incorrect, a fact that was brought up at the end of Garlinghouse's response. There you go. P.S. Nathaniel Popper, for the future reference, quick fact check in keeping with the New York Times standards, my Twitter handle. I love it. I love it. Wonderful stuff. Brad is straight fire. He's not letting anything take him off his goal. We're going to touch on that again in just a few minutes here. Okay, moving on really quickly here. Shout out to XRP Crypto Wolf. U.S. Federal Reserve has been conducting digital currency experiments for the last few years. Oh, now wait a minute. Now, there's been a lot of people out here who have said that the U.S. is dragging their feet. They're taking too long. They're going to get left behind. They're going to miss the tech race, right? I have been a firm believer and made it very clear and not shied away from the fact that the U.S. has been working behind the scenes. Well, here is the evidence right here. The U.S. Federal Reserve has been conducting digital currency experiments for the last few years, and we all in this space who have been in this space very deeply researching, we understand that this is exactly what's been going on, and they're not going to get left behind. And I think, to be honest with you, everything will take off once the U.S. announces their digital dollar, and as well as giving clarity, which I hope that we get through the OCC's federal charter released in the fall. Imagine just those two elements right there and what that will do. You know, when you think of stable coins and central bank digital currencies being developed all around the world, and they absolutely are, there's your on and off ramp from the paper fiat world into this digital tech space. Then when you think about getting the proper classification or designation of what XRP is, banks have already been cleared that they can hold digital assets on their balance sheet. So, and that's been made clear by the OCC already. They can custody digital assets, which means for customers and for themselves. Knowing that in my mind leaves the importance of getting the designation, because if XRP were to be declared a currency, banks are already regulated to handle currency. So in my mind, getting that clarification or designation would absolutely send XRP into a frenzy, because if it's a currency like all the other currencies that banks deal with, they're off to the races. And if they can already hold it on their balance sheet, and all of these years leading up to this moment, and it will continue for years, I'm sure, but Ripple has been doing what? Building the market infrastructure, the plumbing for the new financial system. That's why they're the long play. That's why you've heard Brad Garlinghouse talk about the long play. Because they're banking, I believe, that they will get that designation. And when they do, you won't have to say, oh, great, they cleared us. We can do it. Now we got to just build the plumbing. It's too late at that point. This comes down to just like a field of dreams. You build it and they will come. And that's exactly what Ripple has been doing. They have been building it, and I believe that they are about to come. Because the reality is that XRP to me has to be at least some form of a currency in order to properly function as an intermediary asset that sits between all of the currencies of the world and any asset of value that's been tokenized. Okay, so the reality is the U.S. has been working on this a long time. We know that Ripple has been working on the financial plumbing for the banking system for a long time. We get the clarity we need, and I believe things would move quite quickly. Let's keep this moving here. Shout out to Jeremy Allaire from Circle. This guy is something else, man. I love to listen to this guy talk. I really, really do. Banks around the U.S. will explore how they can leverage the benefits of blockchain and cryptocurrency. Listen, rapid growth in digital dollar stablecoins has led to increased interest from fintech, banks, and financial institutions in supporting digital currencies. The momentum and the narrative is here. And it's not just YouTubers and influencers and retail holders saying, yeah, this is going to happen. You are seeing the banks and the fintechs and financial institutions come together, and that convergence is happening now. And it's not happening now because they're going to hit a dead-end road. It's happening now because I believe, in large part, whether it's internationally speaking or domestically speaking, we're going to see the clarity needed to bring the tech to the financial sector, banks and alike. Pretty exciting stuff. U.S. Congressman Representative Tom Emmer, will lead the first ever crypto town hall celebrating cryptocurrency developers and innovators August 20th at 12:30 p.m. And it is open to the public. I will obviously try to watch that and see what that gleans, if anything at all. And I look at this and say, well, look, we know that Representative Congressman Tom Emmer has been huge for advocate for crypto. He has asked the very, very important questions in the congressional hearings that we've been able to see that are public. He has specifically asked people if they know or understand what XRP or Ripple is. So this could be exciting stuff. Also, just a side note here, another one from XRP Crypto Wolf. China is planning a major expansion of testing for its central bank digital currency across a number of developing regions, including Hong Kong. And I just want to say that, there is it's a race. There's a currency race. There's a digital currency race happening right now. We have been in a monetary war, at least with China, if not other countries, and just the world and globe in respect has been dealing with the currency issues and currency war and trade wars in some respect, because we are in a crisis across the globe. And all of this happening, I mean, it shows you the U.S., the China, you think they're all happen. They just happen. So they just happen to be working on this stuff at the same time. Just so happens, right? There's no such thing as coincidences. Okay, that's where I'm at after being in this space this long. And here's another great piece right here. That really want to drive home, and it's from XRP Crypto Wolf. Shout out to him. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said they aim to become the Amazon of payments for cryptocurrency. The Amazon of payments for cryptocurrency. The back-end settlement for all cryptocurrency. I mean, that to me is remarkable. 2 years from now, you're going to find out that Ripple is to payments as Amazon was to books. Ripple is working to explore new use cases for the XRP ledger. And there's the driving home, powerful driver coming home to me right there. The XRP ledger. Working to explore new use cases. We so often focus on the token and what the value may be someday. Well, if you want to focus on that, the only way to focus on that is to focus on getting the ledger to be the universal ledger of the world, and to house all of the money and all of the assets, or to become the transaction point, right, for all of this in the world. Supply chains, currency settlement, FX markets, clearing houses, right? All of it. All the money. Ripple started out doing exactly what Amazon's doing. You go after a specific point. You conquer that area. Then everything else will come. This is exactly what they're doing. And by the way, cross-border payments isn't just remittance settlement. Cross-border payments is quite a broad brush. So I would remind everybody to keep that in mind as well. Okay, let's keep this going. Matthew Lioneye. Guys, if you're not following Matt Lioneye, really, come on now. Let's follow this guy. Tip him, show him some love. Maybe we can avoid conflict by having a level playing field. How America might wield its ultimate weapon of mass disruption. Freezing China out of the global payment system could have unthinkable consequences. Excuse me. This is from The Economist. And basically what it does, I'm not going to read the whole article to you, but the reality is that the gist of this article is that they talk about SWIFT, and they talk about how they may choose to try and isolate China from SWIFT. And you can't read this article and be a retail investor or holder in this space and not think of XRP and the ledger. It's just impossible to go through this notion and ask yourself, well, how would they wield an ultimate weapon of mass disruption unless you did it through the financial monetary system? Because they're discussing the impact of cutting them out of SWIFT. And it's just quite interesting to me because, honestly, if you look, what is all of this about if you get everybody on the ledger? It's immutable. We see everything. And if you want to manipulate your currency, you go right ahead and do it. It'll affect you within your region because no one else needs to hold it from now on when you have an intermediary asset like XRP. I tell you, I must say that in the reflection of everything that we're seeing here in the last several weeks, the digital dollars, the CBDCs of the world being developed, understanding what XRP's role has been from the very beginning and Ripple's role to work within the system, to build and help bring the innovation and the financial the financial technology to the banking and finance sector. We're the solution. Now, will that happen by Tuesday? I don't know. Will that happen by the end of the year? I still don't know. Will it happen sometime next year? I don't know. I just know it'll happen. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Make sure you share with somebody you know. And by the way, if you haven't done it, guys, make sure you get on the XRP Rich List, my monthly newsletter, guys. Make sure you get on that. Let me just throw this up here really quickly for you, just so you can see it. There is a link in the description, and you can sign up and get on that letter. I will be releasing my first monthly newsletter either early next week or by the weekend, one or the other. So that's coming out very soon. Make sure you get on that newsletter. I got educational courses that I've put together. I'm very proud of that for anybody coming into space that wants to fill out their knowledge a little bit, or they want to get a family member or a friend and just hip them up very quickly. It's an extremely affordable course, guys. So make sure you check this out. Also want to let everybody know too, protect yourself online. Pure VPN. I've got a link in the description box, 99 cents for 7 days. Click the link, get it. Make sure you're protecting your anonymity online with Pure VPN. I've never felt so good about the fact that now I can protect myself online. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. I'll catch all of you on the next one.